I remain your premier knowledge partner. Thank you so much for joining us in this practical training. This training has been carefully designed to equip you and empower you with the right skill that you will leverage to be able to automate your research processes with artificial intelligence. At the end of this training, you will actually gain a whole lot of insights that you can actually use to write your research. So if you're a student, if you're a lecturer, if you are a professor, if you are a research consultant, in as much as you have anything to do with research, this training is for you and it is 100% free. All you need to do is to follow me carefully as I will be walking you through all you need to know. Pay close attention as we discuss. So before we proceed, let me quickly remind you that UNESCO, being United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, released a report recently, and in their report it's clearly stated that less than 1% of global research output is the contribution from Africa. That is so embarrassing that Africa as a whole contributes less than 1% to the entire quality research being released globally. And now that we have artificial intelligence, I am sensing that this score may even get may even be declined, may even go below what we have currently. And that is because people are beginning to actually deploy artificial intelligence in a wrong way to conduct their research. And this training is actually designed to help you gain insight on the right way you can use artificial intelligence to conduct your research. So pay close attention as you will be learning a whole lot on the best thing to do when using artificial intelligence to conduct your research. So in this training, we'll be covering the following. The first thing we'll look at is who is Veristzon Global Research Lab. This training is coming from Veristzon Global Research Lab. So when we get there, you get to know who is Veristzon Global Research Lab. You will also get to know what artificial intelligence is all about, what is research, what is academic research, how to use artificial intelligence to discover the most suitable research topic, how to use artificial intelligence to discover relevant research materials, how to use artificial intelligence to discover the study variables, how to use artificial intelligence to discover the research gaps, how to use artificial intelligence to write the statement of problem, how to use artificial intelligence to write objectives, questions, and hypotheses of your research. This is where we'll be ending this training in this particular session. Then I will now unfold to you a gift. If you pay close attention to the end, I have a gift for you. I have a free gift for you, and at the same time I will present an opportunity for continuous development for you. The gift will be so amazing, so you make sure you follow to the end. So who is Veristzon Global Research Lab? I'll try as much as possible to not make this training to be lengthy. We'll make it very brief, go straight to the point. Everything will be practical, no need for theory. Theory has ended in the university, so let's make something different. Let's do something different this time. So who is Veristzon Global Research Lab? Veristzon is a leading African research lab with the mission of making practical skills available and affordable. So if you have been looking of how to gain practical skills, Veristzon Global is the right place to be. Veristzon was awarded 5,000 seed capital by Tony Elumelu Foundation to support the actualization of our mission across Africa. Thank you so much, Daddy. Veristzon offers research services, data analysis services, and practical training. Veristzon has trained over 3,000 individuals across Africa since January 2025. Verizon has offered 30 AI and research scholarships to young Africans. That is, we have given 30 persons free scholarship, training fee waiver to study artificial intelligence and research. Verizon is based in Asokoro, Abuja. Contact line is 08063558464. In case you want make any inquiry, reach out to us and we will discuss better. What is artificial intelligence? I want you to pay very close attention and follow me carefully from this moment. Very, very important. What is artificial intelligence? So we'll be looking at the meaning, types, and examples. Artificial intelligence is a human-made intelligence with the ability to perform activities below, like, or above natural humans' intelligence. When we are talking about below, like, or above, just pay close attention. You will get to know that. Types of artificial intelligence. We have narrow artificial intelligence, also known as weak artificial intelligence. Now, this kind of artificial intelligence perform activities below human intelligence. That is to say, is not everything human intelligence can do that narrow artificial intelligence can do. Then we now have general artificial intelligence, also known as strong artificial intelligence. This AI performs activities exactly the way humans do. Then we now have super artificial intelligence. This super artificial intelligence do things far and above the way humans do. That is why we define artificial intelligence as a human-made intelligence with the ability to perform activities below, like, or above natural humans' intelligence. So you can see it from the angle of the narrow, general, and super intelligence. Now, do we have anything like narrow artificial intelligence currently? Yes. But do we have general artificial intelligence and super artificial intelligence currently? No, they are still under development, and they will really cause a whole lot of disruption in the world if they are finally released. And that is because most things that humans should do, humans will no longer do them. Humans will now be in the position of control. And for you to be in position of control, you must know how artificial intelligence works. And that is the reason why you have to pay close attention to this training, so that you will actually understand how artificial intelligence works and you'll be able to control it properly. It's just like you driving a car. You must know how to drive the car for the car to actually be able to pick you from one particular place to another. But if you don't know how to drive a car, there is a high tendency of having accidents if you enter the driver's seat. Now, we have different examples of weak artificial intelligence, be the narrow artificial intelligence, and that is ChatGPT, Elicit, Sci.ai, ResearchRabbit, Consensus, Scholastic, Connected Papers. All these tools are used for research purposes. There are other artificial narrow or weak artificial intelligence out there, but I filter this one so that you will get to know the ones that we can actually deploy in research processes. So what is research itself? You've been hearing research, research, research. What is this research? Research means finding new knowledge or understanding something better. Research involves asking questions, collecting information, and analyzing data to get answers. Research is about problem solving or discovering new ideas. Research writing creates knowledge. Book writing shares knowledge or stories. So most times people think writing a book is the same thing as writing research. It is not actually the same. It is not the same. Research writing is about creating new knowledge. Why, when you are writing a book, it's about sharing knowledge that is already in existence or stories. So that whenever you pick up a book to write, you won't adopt the same approach you can adopt when writing research, or maybe when writing research, you start presenting it like a book. No, it shouldn't be so. So, what is academic research? I've been able to tell you what research is all about. Now, what is academic research? And that is because in research, we have business research and we also have academic research, and they are two different things. The approach can be the same, but the purpose, they are not the same. Academic research takes different form at each study level. Whenever we talk about BSc project, it is an academic research, and this introduces students to basic research and practical application. When we talk about MSc dissertation, it is academic research, which involves deeper analysis and independent investigation. And when we talk about PhD thesis, we are talking about academic research that produces original ideas that expand existing knowledge. And we also have journal manuscripts for people who want to publish ideas out there. So this is the kind of research that actually share findings with global academic community. That is where you see somebody publishing in different journals, Scopus Standard, and the rest. That is all about academic research. The assignment you do in your school is about academic research. The seminar you do in your school is academic research. All these activities you perform before your graduation, maybe thesis, the rest as we listed here, they are what we call academic research. Now, how to use artificial intelligence to discover the most suitable research topic. Research starts when you have a research topic to work on. And when you have an idea, you must find a way to coin the idea to become a topic before you start the research. So let's look at how you can actually use AI to discover the most suitable research topic. A suitable research topic is one that is clear, focused, researchable, and relevant to your field of study or real-life problems. A suitable research topic helps researchers stay organized, collect the right data, and produce meaningful results that add value to your feed. So from this moment now, any stage we are, we always do a kind of practical illustration. And because I don't want this training to be too long, we'll find a way to make it very brief. And all the illustrations we'll be doing here, we'll be doing it with ChatGPT. Though we have so many other artificial intelligence that we can actually use for research purposes like Elicit, Sci.ai, ResearchRabbit, Consensus, Scholarly, Connected Papers, and others. But we can't be able to cover all in this particular session. So all you need to do is to follow me carefully, pay close attention, and you will be able to learn much more. So everything we'll be doing here now will be using ChatGPT. So let's go and use ChatGPT to come up with a suitable research topic. So this is my ChatGPT here. It is loading. If you don't know how to log into ChatGPT, just go to your Google, type ChatGPT, and you will log in. Or possibly, if you're using your phone, download ChatGPT through Play Store and log in and start using ChatGPT. And if you check through our YouTube platform, you will get to learn a whole lot on the best way to use ChatGPT, on the features of ChatGPT, which we cannot actually cover here, or you reach out to any of our admin officers and get to learn much more. So this is ChatGPT, and we want to actually discover a research topic we want to work on. Now, the first question I want to ask myself is, what is the idea I have? So let me say I have ideas regards to effect of this artificial intelligence on research performance of students in Africa. So that is to say I have artificial intelligence I have student performance, and I have Africa. So what I will now do is I will tell ChatGPT, write, I want it to be 5. Write 5 research topics for, let's say you are using it for your PhD or MSc. For my PhD thesis, now you have to communicate how you want the topic to be structured. Here, I want the topic to start with effect, and I want it to end with the name of the organization. And I will also capture the variables being the artificial intelligence and performance of students. The topics should focus on the focus on artificial intelligence. That is the idea I have. Find a way of telling ChatGPT the idea you have. Focus on artificial intelligence and performance of students in Africa. The topics should start with effect or impact. The topics should end with the name of the organization or the industry. As simple as this, I can now send it and receive my research topics. Remember, when you want to use ChatGPT to get research topics, these are the key things you need to let ChatGPT to know. The idea you have, no matter how unorganized the idea seems to be, just tell ChatGPT this is the idea you have. Then tell ChatGPT how you want the topics to appear. Like this one, I'm telling ChatGPT that I want the topics to start with effect or impact, and I want it to end with the name of the organization or the industry where the study is to be based on. So I send now and get my research topics. There are several other strategies which I may not go in detail here now. Just follow me carefully and you will get to understand what we are talking about. This is just one of the many ways you can use to actually come up with research topics using ChatGPT. There are other tools you can also use to come up with your research topics. Now, this is the topics ChatGPT has recommended for me. The number one is effect of AI-powered adaptive learning systems on academic performance in Nigerian secondary schools. And the second one, I think network is a bit slow, so just follow me carefully. Then the second one is the impact of generative AI tools on biology learning outcome at Federal University of Education, Zaria, Nigeria. Now, you can actually modify it more. Maybe if you have a particular field, you want the training to focus on accounting, you want the AI to focus on accounting or whatever, then the effect of AI, you can see all the various topics that have been recommended. So follow me carefully so that you get to learn more. So let's move to the next session so that we won't waste much of your time. I know everyone is busy nowadays, so and we try as much as possible to simplify this training in a way that learning shouldn't take too much time. Learning anything shouldn't take too much time, in as much as it is well simplified. So the next phase we are now is how to use artificial intelligence to discover relevant research materials. Research materials are the sources of information used when writing a research work. The most reliable materials are journal papers, books, and official reports. Journal papers are important because they contain verified and peer-reviewed studies. For credibility, researchers should use recent journals not older than 5 years to stay updated with current findings. Yes, everything stated here is just the way it should be. You understand? So now let's go to practical illustration on how you can actually find research materials. Research material, in other words, is these journal papers that you cite according to John 2020. These are, according to one of the Pecunia proverbs, it says that a young chick doesn't crawl until it hears from the old ones. So as a researcher, any point you want to actually hit, you want to see whether any past researcher has actually said one or two things regarding that, so that it will not just be your own personal opinion. You have to justify your own opinion with the findings of other researchers in the past, and that is why you need research materials. And the best research material you can think of include journal papers or books or official policy reports. So let's quickly go to ChatGPT. As I said, we'll be using ChatGPT for all our illustrations for this particular session. Maybe when we go to another session, you will now get to see how you can use other tools to actually still do the same thing, or maybe other strategies, because there are so many strategies that can be used to do one particular thing, but we can't actually in this particular short training be able to discuss everything. Now let's assume that the topic we want to work on is this number one, and we actually want to get suitable research materials that we can use to build up this particular topic, and we are leveraging on ChatGPT. So all we need to do is to take the topic, paste it on our ChatGPT. Just be looking at my mouse so that you will get to understand what I am doing and how I am doing it. So paste your research topic, then give ChatGPT. There is what we call prompts. Prompt is the instruction you are giving to ChatGPT or to any other artificial intelligence platform to be able to execute a certain task for you. It's like when you are working with your PA and you have to give your PA an instruction of what to do. So when you start seeing ChatGPT or other artificial intelligence tools as your PA, you will start giving clear, specific instructions that will help artificial intelligence to execute some level of task clearly for you. So it is very important you pay attention, because I say I have a gift for you, and the gift I have for you has a whole lot to do as regards how best you can work with prompts, the prompt engineering. So let's give it a little instruction now. I want to actually get, let me say, I want to get 20 journal papers. I will tell ChatGPT, get me, okay, let's say 10 journal papers that are available online and they are verifiable and downloadable online. The journals should be relevant and suitable for this research topic. Provide a valid link to source, or to access the journals. So once you are done giving this your instruction like this, which are the gift I told you, as I said earlier, will actually expose you on how best you can come up with prompts for your work. So once you are done like this, giving the instruction, you send it and wait for ChatGPT to get you the list of relevant and suitable materials that you can now use to build up your research paper. So let's wait a bit and allow ChatGPT to do its mathematics. I think the network is a bit slow, so all you need to do is to just bear with me. Good. You can see this one is out. The first one is evaluating. This is the first paper it provided me. The first paper, let's read from here. Certainly, here are 10 verifiable and downloadable journal papers relevant to your research topic. Evaluating, the network is a bit slow. The first one is evaluating the impact of AI enhanced adaptive learning on creative thinking skills in Nigerian universities. This is a brief summary of the paper. Then this is the link I can use to actually access the journal paper. So let me click this link and see whether the paper is actually valid. But I think the network is a bit down, so just bear with me. So let's check this one now and see whether we can actually access it. You can see each of them, there is a link for each. This is the second one, integration of artificial intelligence in improving secondary school, blah blah, and others. So let's click this link. You can see the link. So let's click it and access this document. Follow me carefully. Good. This is this paper. So from here now, you can decide to download this paper and save it somewhere and go back again and pick up the second one again. The second one is the second one. So what I will do now is let me download the papers. Let me download them so that we can actually use them for something else. This is the second one. So let me download another one. Let's make it 3, not just 2. So whenever you open each one, all you just need to do is to search where they have download. There is always download. You see the option for download. Click the download and you will be able to have access to the document. And if it's one that is not publicly available, there are some documents that before you download them, you will have to make payment. If the document is too important for you, you just have to make the payment and have access to it. Very, very important. It's not every time that you'll be looking for something that is free. So when you pay, sometimes you get to understand the core value of a particular thing. So this one is free. You can actually download it. So I think we've downloaded up to 4 now. I think, and it's enough. So security check required. So we can, let's ignore this, the ones we have downloaded or whatever we can use them for. So this is how you go about using ChatGPT to come up with research materials that will be suitable for your research work. If you need 100, you can use this approach to get 100. If you need 1,000, you can get that. Any number at all, in as much as they variable, you can use this approach. There are so many other approach which we cannot actually discuss everything in this particular training. All you need to do is just to follow us carefully and you will get to learn more. So the next one now is how to use artificial intelligence to discover the study variables. Now you are done discovering the materials, you've actually structured your topic. So how do you go about discovering the various variables of your study? I will show you how you can actually use ChatGPT to do that. But first of all, let's look at some of the theoretical aspects so that you get to know what study variables are all about. Study variables are the things you study to see how they affect each other. The makeup of a topic, they are what we call variables. The makeups. In the makeups, we have the dependent variable. You can see it here. The dependent variable is what changes or what you measure in your study. Just pay close attention. We'll get to a place where I will do more explanation. Then independent variable is what you control or change to see its effect on another. Then we also have control variable, which is what you keep the same way so it doesn't affect your results. Pay close attention. Then we also have moderating variable. This is the one that strengthens or weakens the relationship between two other variables. What strengthens or weakens? Dependent is what changes based on effect coming from something. Then the independent is the one causing the change. Then the control variable is the one that remains the same. It doesn't change. It remains the same so that it doesn't affect the results you are expecting from the interaction between dependent and the independent. Then the moderating is one that strengthens or weakens the relationship between the dependent and the independent. Then the mediating variable is one that explains how or why one variable affects another. Mediating. Pay close attention. I want to show you something more. Now, let's take a case of food and a child growth so that you will get to understand better what we talk about study variable. Let's look at effect of food on child growth. In there we have independent variable, the type or quality of food. This is the independent variable. It is the one causing the change. The type of food you give to a child, the quality of food you give to a child can actually determine whether the child will grow well or will not grow well. Then we now have the dependent variable. The dependent variable now is the one that is changing. That is the growth of a child changes now. It changes because of the effect coming from the independent variable. This is the what you are measuring. This is what you are measuring. It's just like you are trying to measure one. You are trying to you are trying to measure two. You are trying to determine two, and you are now saying if I take one and say plus another one, it will give me two. And if I say 3 minus 1, it will also give me 2. So this 1 plus 1, this 3 minus 1, they are the independent variable in this case now. And the 2 being the result we are expecting is the dependent variable. Just an additional illustration. Then we now have control variables in this case of effect of food on child growth. Control variables here, we talk about age of the child, the gender, the environment, the health condition. They are the same. The age of the child at any particular time is the same. For instance, in 2025 now, if your age is 30, is 30. But your growth in that 2025 can actually be determined by the quality of food you eat or the type of food you eat. But your age as at that year remains the same. Mediating variable. Mediating variable in this case now, we are looking at nutritional level or nutrient intake, which explains how food affects the growth. Then the moderating variable in this case now, we are looking at physical activity or parental care, which may strengthen or weaken the effect of food on the growth. So if you go through what we said in the previous session with what we have in this illustration, you will now get to understand better what we call study variable. So let me now take you to how you can use ChatGPT to actually come up with this various variable whenever you have a research topic to work on. So let's go back to our ChatGPT here. Please follow me carefully. It's very, very important. Let's go to ChatGPT here. So this is the topic we actually wanted to go with. So let's pick this topic and submit it again to ChatGPT. So let's get the dependent, the independent, and the measures of the independent variables. Then from the topic below, you can see the instruction I'm giving. Get me the dependent and independent variable of the study. Okay, and 3 measures. Yeah, I also want to get the 3 measures of the independent variable. Now, I don't want explanation, list only. I want it to just be only list. I don't want any explanation, list only. So when you are working with ChatGPT, it's very good you master how to make your instructions simple, direct, specific, without being too ambiguous or something like that. We are still working on this topic, the impact of generative AI tools on biology. This is the topic here. Now, these are the various variables ChatGPT has given to us. This is the topic itself, the impact of generative AI on biology learning outcome at Federal University of Education. Then this is the dependent variable, academic performance in biology. This is the independent variable, being generative AI intelligence strategy. Then these are the 3 measures of independent variable. Use of ChatGPT, use of daily, use of codex. These are the measures. Now, you will not actually understand the essence of these measures until we proceed, except if you are already good at research. So let's go back and see the next phase before we now proceed to the next phase again. we're almost rounding up this training, so just be patient. Now, the next phase of this training is how to use AI to write the objectives, questions, and hypotheses. Objectives tells us what we want to achieve. The questions are focus on what we want to find. Then the hypothesis test what we want, what you believe might be true. Now, it's just as it stated, objectives, what you actually have in mind to achieve. Then the questions will be leading to you achieving that. Then the hypothesis is actually what to be tested, to be accepted or rejected. Now, depending on the type of research you are doing, you may not actually need hypothesis. If your research is purely theoretical, that is position paper where you don't need to do any statistical analysis, you may not need hypothesis. But when your research is empirical, where you need to collect data, do the analysis and come up with conclusion, you need hypothesis. So you will understand better as we keep studying. So now, how do we actually come up with the objectives, questions, and hypotheses for your research study? That is where you now need to be very, very clear of what are the various variables that make up your study and what are the various measures of each variable of your study. You must know this so that you can be able to structure your objectives, questions, and hypotheses very well. If you don't know the makeup, if you don't know the various variables and measures, you won't actually be able to structure objectives and hypotheses very well. That is why you see some studies, the topic will be different, the objectives will be different, the variables will be different. No logical connection in the study. And that is because the researcher did not cool down to understand what are the various measures. And in our last exercise on ChatGPT, we able to come up with the dependent variable, the independent variable, and the measures. Now, we want to give a little instruction and convert these measures into research objectives, questions, and hypotheses. So all I will do now is to copy all of them. If I like, I copy up to from the topic down to the last measure. Then I will now tell ChatGPT, write the research objectives, questions, and hypotheses for the study details below. This must work. Let's see. So you use the objectives, questions, and all these, the variables you have to actually come up with your various this understanding. Good. So you can see we now have our hypothesis. And okay, let me still point out this. If depending on the kind of analysis you have in mind, let's assume what I have in mind is to do my analysis using multilinear regression. Then I have to be very more specific on so that the objectives, questions, and hypotheses will actually be structured for me to be able to use multilinear regression. So before you come up with the objectives, questions, and hypotheses of your study, always ask yourself, what type of analysis do I want to do? The type of analysis you want to do will determine the kind of how you are structuring your objectives, questions, and hypotheses. So let me just tell ChatGPT here, the study will be analyzed using multiple linear regression model. So the dependent variable will appear in all the objectives or the same. So let's proceed now. Please follow me carefully. Very, very important you do. So you can see. So this has been structured in a way that I can actually use multilinear regression. Well, you get to part of our training where we discuss about the methodology, you will get to understand all these things better. But because of time, we can't be able to finish all of them in one study. You can see these are the various objectives we have. The various objectives, questions, and the hypothesis to be tested, and the result will actually show whether we are accepting or rejecting this. So let's go and see the next phase of the training. The next phase now should be about, let's check. I think we are done with this. We're done. Now that we have been able to discover our research topic, our study variables, and our objectives, questions, and hypotheses, we've been able to get some research materials. Then the next thing now I want us to quickly do is to establish the research gaps. But before then, what is research gap? Research gaps are areas not fully studied or understood in existing study. They show what is missing, what is incomplete, and what is contradictory in past studies. And we have different types of research gaps. We have methodological gap, which actually emphasize on when studies use weak or limited research method. Then the population gaps talks about some groups, regions, or samples that are not captured in the past studies. Then the theoretical gap focuses on conflicts or missing link between theories used in the past studies. Then conceptual gap, these are the key ideas or variables not clearly defined or connected in the past studies. Then we have knowledge gap, which is very few or no studies exist on the topic. Then we have empirical gap. Previous findings are inconsistent or lack enough data. We also have practical gap. Research not applied in real life problems or industries. Then we have filling these gaps helps add new knowledge and make research more useful and relevant. What research gap is simply talking about is that you have been able to discover the topic, you've been able to discover various variables you want to work on, and you have structured your objectives, questions, and hypotheses. You have to now fall back to the materials you have collected, all the materials, review all of them. Then in the process of reviewing all of them, you are looking at the methodology. Okay, this one used this method, this one used this method. What is missing in all these methods that have been used? What method again can we use other than the methods all these research works have used? This is a gap. Then the population gap. What population? Maybe this study focused on Abuja, the other one focused Nigeria, Ghana, the other one Kenya. Which other population is missing that has not actually been covered? The fact that you did this work in Abuja and came up with this finding does not mean if I do the same research in Lagos, I will come with the same finding. It's not possible. It's not possible. Sometimes it can still be possible. Then we also have the theoretical gap. Okay, this study used this theory, the other one used this theory. What other theory can we use? Then conceptual talks about the variables we have been able to structure. Okay, these studies use these variables, which one have not been used? The ones we have should actually focus on the ones that have not been used, or maybe the way they use it is not actually sufficient. And empirical practical. Now let's go to let's copy all these. Let's copy maybe 3 of these. Okay, let's copy 2. Let's copy 2 of these gaps first of all. Just copy first. Now let's go back to our ChatGPT. Now, what I want to do now is for us to establish the gaps in this study. Remember, we have downloaded some research materials. I want us to now link the research materials to ChatGPT, then give it the instruction for us to be able to come up with the research gaps. So let's go. I click under ChatGPT. There is a plus sign. If you look at the down part where my mouse is, you will actually see the plus sign. Click the plus sign and you will see add photos and file. click the add photos and file. From there, you can actually be able to bring up some documents you have downloaded and they are in your in your system. So this is this one. I have only one paper here. Where are others? I downloaded many now. I downloaded many. I have only one. So just make sure that the whatever paper you have, that you store them where you can easily access them, so that you won't be searching for them the way I am searching for this one we just downloaded now. I'm seeing only one. So let's just bring up only this one that we are seeing and use it just as an example. So let's bring it up. I've selected it. So it's about to be attached now. You can see it's loading. Allow it to load before you start giving your instruction. So we are done. So let's bring up the instruction. So we can just remove the explanation and make it methodological gap, population gap, and theoretical gap. Let's say these are the three key gaps you actually want to capture in your study. Bring them up. You cannot say, write. Maybe you want it to be one paragraph, or you want it to be two paragraphs, or how many paragraphs? Write two. Okay, let's make it three. Write three paragraphs discussing the research gap in the attached study and show how the gap in exists for the new study below. What is the new study below? Remember, we have our objectives here, so I will copy all our objectives here and paste it at the end or anywhere. Artificial intelligence is very smart. It can actually pick up whatever you post. Then focus on methodological gap. I want to focus on methodological gap, population gap. Sorry, I have to be rushing a bit so that this training will not take much time. But if you pay close attention, and follow me carefully, you will get to actually understand everything we are doing. So write three paragraphs discussing the research gap in the attached study and show how the gap exists for the new study below. You can see we've pasted the objectives showing the new study below. I want to focus on methodological gap, population gap, and theoretical gap. Then I send it so that it can now help to write the research gap section of the study. Now let's read a bit and see what we have. In the previous study, the methodological approach predominantly focused on qualitative narrative review of literature which lacked empirical testing of AI tools in educational settings. It primarily emphasized policy analysis and blah 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 and other things. Then this is our population gap. The previous study, while focusing on the integration of AI in Nigeria secondary school, does not specifically target university level students or focus on specific subjects like biology. You can see then theoretical gap. Previous study primarily uses qualitative review and a broad examination of and blah blah. Why the study discuss various educational and so many. If you read it carefully, you will get to see the research gap that has been identified and structured into research gap statement. Now, in some studies, research gap statement can actually form part of statement of problem, and in some studies, it can be part of the last session of the literature review, depending on the template you are using. So pay close attention. Let's move to the next session so that we can be able to round up this particular training. The next session So the next session is about writing the statement of problem for the study. Now, what is statement of problem? Statement of problem is a clear description of the main issue your research wants to solve or understand. It shows what is wrong, missing, or unknown in existing studies or real life. It helps readers understand why the study is important and what gap it will fill. A good problem statement is specific, researchable, and linked to evidence. It should state what the study is, why it is a problem, or who or what is affected, what evidence shows it exists, what will happen if it does not, if it is, sorry, hold on, if it is not solved. These are the key things you really need to capture in your study. So let's copy it out. Remember, I am a bit rushing because I don't want this training to be too long. So now we want to actually write the statement of problem for this particular study that we have here, this study. Now, everything about this study revolves around the objectives, the questions, the hypothesis. Everything about this study revolves around it. So we want to now give a little instruction that we can actually use to write the statement of our problem. So write the statement of problem for the study below. Focus on focus on what the problem is, why it is a problem, and other things like that. See details of the study below. Apologies, I have to be rushing a bit, but in the main thing is that you have to grab the points here. Study below. This is it. So we have added, so it's very important we also add the topic of the study. Yeah, very, very important. So let's bring the topic from what we have posted before. Good. Title of the study. See details of the study below. Let me post the title of the study. Good. So I also want to add a little bit instruction like you can add it anywhere. Write 4 paragraphs. I want everything to be in 4 paragraphs. So now I can now, oh, let me end it. Let me stop it. One thing we didn't add here, which is very, very important. One thing we didn't add. Now, let me tell you what we did not add. This is what we did not add. We did not add in-text citations. Now, in these in-text citations, if maybe you already have some journal papers you downloaded which you want to use and build up your research work, after saying add in-text citations, maybe using a 7th edition style, then what you need to do is to go to that plus sign and attach all the papers you actually want to use to write your paper. For instance, let me attach this one that we just downloaded. And for you to be able to use ChatGPT very well for your research, you have to upgrade to the pro version of ChatGPT or the plus version of ChatGPT. Let's look at this particular account. Now is a plus account, is not a pro account. This is a plus account, and if you look at here, you can see ChatGPT 5. We have ChatGPT Pro, we have ChatGPT Plus. That will actually help you a whole lot to be able to get a whole lot of insight using this platform. So let's send it and now write the statement of our problem. This is the statement of problem. The integration of generative AI tools such as ChatGPT, DG, Coded, you can see that it is centered on the key variables of your study. Sometimes you'll be reading statement or problem of some studies, you will not know actually where what the statement is talking about, because the study variables and other things, they are not actually linked to the statement of problem. Your research from the topic down to the conclusion, everything, in fact, anybody reading your research paper should see a logical flow from the beginning to the end. So the integration of generative AI tools such as this and that into educational settings, particularly in university level biology education, is an emerging trend with the potential to revolutionize instructional delivery and enhance academic performance. You can see all of them. I don't want to start reading. So this is our statement of problem, and this is the approach you can use down from right from the topics to this level we are now. So now that you are here, this is the last phase of this training, and it's time for you to now claim your free gift. I have a gift for you, and so we are now in the last session of this training, and I really appreciate you for joining us and getting to this level. It is now time for you to claim your free gift. The first gift we have for you is hold on, let me bring it up. I have a gift for you. This is the amazing gift we have for you. For you to have joined us up to this level, this book is for you. The ChatGPT Master Prompt Handbook. This book contains of about 1,000 prompts for every profession, purpose, and project. Here you will learn how best you can actually use ChatGPT to do some activity, day-to-day activities. Yeah, then outside this, all you just need to do is fill the form you filled before you started this training. This book will actually be sent to your email. Check your email and you will see a copy of this book in there. Also make sure you check the spam folder of your email in case you are not seeing it in your inbox. Then the last part of it is that we have opportunity for continuous development for you. You have been able to learn just a rushing phase of this training. I call it a rushing phase because we do not go in detail for in each of the sessions. So we have a robust package we have actually designed for you, and it's 3 months practical training. In this 3 months practical training, you will learn a whole lot on how to use artificial intelligence to draft your research topics, how to use artificial intelligence to write your objective questions and hypotheses, how you can use artificial intelligence to actually handle the background to the study, conceptual, theoretical, empirical review being the literature review sections, how you can identify research gaps, write the research gaps, how you can actually identify the research problems and write the statement of problem, how you can identify the most suitable methodology and also write the questionnaire or collect data for your study, how you can actually run descriptive and inferential analysis. Maybe you want to do correlation, ANOVA, blah blah, and also be able to come up with your findings, and how you can be able to structure your references ethically, and most importantly, how best you can remove plagiarism or AI content in your research document. It is very, very important. There the training covers about 18 modules. It's about 18 modules, and each module is carefully designed so that you will gain deeper, high level of insight on the best way you can leverage artificial intelligence to do everything you need to do in your research paper, from the ideation phase where you need to know the research topic to work on, down to the concluding phase of your research. I wouldn't like you to miss this opportunity because it is highly it is well packaged for you. If you are a BSc student, MSc student, PhD student, MBA, DBA, whatever level you are as a student, this training is actually for you. And if you are a lecturer, you also need to master a whole lot as regards how best to use artificial intelligence to do your research work, so that when supervising your students, you won't be discouraging them from using artificial intelligence, but you will be able to leverage on the skill you will gain from this skill training to be able to guide your students properly and effectively, instead of discouraging them from using AI to do their research work. You will also master the best way you can actually use artificial intelligence to handle maybe your manuscript and do some publication. You cannot do without this training. This is just the right training for you. And at the end of the training, you will actually have your certificate of participation being delivered to you. This is 3 months practical training, and it is very, very cost friendly. It is just 10,000 naira only. It is currently on 80% discount. Currently on 80% discount, and this discount is only for those who participate in this preliminary training we just we just concluded now. In as much you participated in this preliminary training, you now have your 80% discount for you. You will get more details via your email, and in case if you want to make payment, you can reach out to any of our admin officers via our contact line. Our contact is here: 08063558464. And in case you are, and if you are looking at making payment for the training, it is 80% discount. This is the account number you will make your payment to: 10266264430. The bank is UBA. If maybe you are not from Nigeria, if you are from Ghana, Cameroon, Kenya, South Africa, and other countries, all you just need to do is to check the email we'll send to you. There is a link that has been delivered to your email. Use that link and make your payments from any country at all you are. Use the link. Either use your use our Flutterwave link or use our Stellar link and make your payment. After making the payment, forward the evidence to us and your admission will be processed and you start your training immediately. Do not waste this opportunity. Take this opportunity seriously and start learning the best way to use artificial intelligence to handle every phases of your research, so that you can be able to come up with quality research work that can actually contribute towards boosting our rating in the global space. Currently, it is less than 1%. It is very, very embarrassing. So, see you in class where you will learn beyond this introductory phase you have been taught. Thank you.